I repent in behalf of this man that is on the edge of death and his brain being cooked.
See the same people every other day, but we never say hey, cause we're never looking the way, or my face was in my notebook. We passed each other, didn't look. But these are the people of the towns, of the towns, the towns, of the towns. And large cities are just a bunch of big small towns, big small towns, overlapping side by side, big small towns. I see new people every day. Everyone's on their way, doing the things that failed their day. And I'm going places too, doing the things that I do with my time. We are the people of the towns, of the towns, the towns, of the towns. And large cities are just a bunch of big small towns, big small towns, diagonal, top to bottom, big small towns. Be nice to the people of the towns. Once in a while look around, cause what's going around's coming around. What came around's coming around. What's going around's coming around. Big, 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 small towns. Word gets around in the big small towns. Big, 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 small towns. Word gets around in the big small towns. Big, 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 small towns. Word gets around in the big small towns.
Hey everybody, welcome to Downballot. We do this show most Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Echoplex Media. You can support this project at echoplexmedia.com. Click the support link at the top of the website. I don't know, buy a hat, kick me $5, whatever works for you. People watching on Twitch, obviously you know how the monetization scheme works here on Twitch. I'm producer Dave. You can find me on Blue Sky at Plex-Dave.
And what's up? This is the Councilman joining you as always, producer Dave. You can find me also on Blue Sky at PJ Allen TWO. That's PJ Allen 2 on Blue Sky. You can also these days find me getting mandatory reporter training because they're about to let the councilman loose on a bunch of like young people. So I got to be,
Well, Good.
So not only do I have to look out for myself, I have to look out for my colleagues and my coworkers and anyone who's around our students. So it's going to be a joyous occasion. But yeah, wonderful stuff going on in the world here. It's July, and while sometimes the news takes a break, the derp really doesn't. So we've got plenty of stuff to dig into this week, and I hope you enjoy the docket.
So what do we got for leading off? We're going back to the old one here.
Yeah, you were wondering if there was anything on this new California Forever announcement, and sure enough, there was a little sit down with our favorite Hitler Youth and CEO Hans. I'm sure that's not his name, but he just looks like a Hans and sounds like a Hans. And he talked up.
This man has an inner child, but his inner child is the Hitler Youth.
Yeah, exactly. So apparently, they are not satisfied with their Norman Rockwell, rendition of suburban America that they wanted to create, and really, didn't sound like the people of Solano County were all that enamored of it either. But now they have a new idea. And it's equally with equally Norman Rockwell-ish pictures, but of a utopian manufacturing paradise. And we're going to learn about that in this clip from CBS News in Sacto.
I think you said labor camp wrong.
Did I say labor camp? Did I mispronounce that?
Manufacturing hub, you say. Let's hear what this
Yes, for laborers who want to earn, some sort of wage.
Covering Solano County for you now, where the California Forever Project discussion continues. Tonight we're learning they've got a plan to build up a manufacturing mecca.
A reporter covering Solano County, Ashley Sharp, sits down with the group's CEO, getting answers about their plans for the future. All right, Ashley, what can you tell us?
Well, California Forever owns more than 100 square miles of land here in Solano County. That's twice the size of San Francisco. On it, their plans to build a new city now also include a massive manufacturing hub. On quiet Solano County farmland, the vision backed by Silicon Valley investors to build a new city of 400,000 people evolves.
But really, we're going back to what the Bay Area and Northern California used to do back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, when it was the center for manufacturing and particularly high-tech manufacturing in America.
The Solano Foundry is pitched as the largest manufacturing park in the country. California Forever's CEO says hand in hand with his proposed new city.
100% the trains in that depicted in there, they were running on time, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Doing incredible
ahead of time, even.
Can manufacture things in California instead of sending all of those jobs to Texas or Florida.
Jim DeClo, a Solano County professor, has opposed the project since the start and is behind Solano County's voter-backed Orderly Growth Initiative.
The entire growth strategy of Solano County for 40 years has been designed exactly to prevent a California Forever.
It's the cost of roads, sewage, and water for a development of this size that some Solano County taxpayers fear will land on their backs.
The taxpayers will pay for that one way or another, either directly or in a reduction of services.
But Ceramic says his new city will be entirely self-funded and sustainable.
So it's fair to say that's never going to be a taxpayer burden?
Absolutely.
Last year, California Forever took...
Oh, sure, for sure. The shower, they just spit out water. They have water and they have soap.
Undermining democracy.
Now, at a meeting last month, Suisun City voted to explore possibly annexing California Forever's new city. If approved, the project gets the green light, and California Forever would pay Suisun City $10 million.
These are outsiders trying to make money off of our backs.
For a number of Solano County neighbors, they say they don't trust California Forever.
How do you reconcile that?
There's a real difference between what the situation was 2 years ago and today. And so I think we just have to recognize that you're never going to have complete community consensus.
Now, I reached out to the Solano Economic Development Corporation for their take on the new manufacturing park. They told me that they did not want to weigh in on the idea of a new city, but they did say this in part. We're excited about California Forever's vision to bring advanced manufacturing to Solano County. We're adjacent to the greatest innovation center in the world, and we should be manufacturing their products right here in Solano County. Now, if you're interested, soon we're going to be posting a transcription of my entire interview with the CEO, Jan Ceramic, on our website, cbs13.com. So if you want some more context and everything that we talked about, that'll be posted shortly here on our website.
So these are all, they're all going to be like good union jobs in these manufacturing plants, right?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. No doubt. Jan will insure it. Sorry, it's not Hans, it's Jan. Even better, worse, I don't know.
I can't believe like how they're like, oh, he's smart. The people will like him.
Oh yeah, and he's handsome. I mean,
you need a used car dealer from Bakersfield.
Right. I mean, he might as well be. Like, look at that hair. It's just the accent is the only thing that really throws him off, or gives him away. Yeah, I love the question. How do you reconcile that people don't trust you? It's like, well, you can trust us. Totally. We are good people. We are not here to take your money.
Not for nothing. This guy's, they're just kissing Donald Trump's ass here, right? Trying to get Donald Trump to put his thumb on the scale, because Donald Trump has been trying to tell everybody that we're going to start having manufacturing fucking largesse or something again. So this is like 100%.
Oh, yeah.
That's directed at Trump and like Trump voters in Solano County.
Oh yeah, the manufacturing jobs are coming back, Producer Dave. All of them, all those jobs that went to China and Mexico and everywhere else, they're all coming back because Trump can make it happen. Yeah, this is a pipe dream. I don't know that this goes anywhere, especially if there's going to have to be voter approval for it. I just don't see it passing the muster of the good rural farm owners and workers of Solano County and the folks in the suburban and slightly more urban communities of Solano County. I don't see them supporting this. It just, and the burden it would create to our infrastructure for something so out of the area, right, or out of the current infrastructure, or what do you want to call it, area of influence, when we should be infilling and building up in our cities and around transit hubs, and they want to build this monstrosity of what they see as a paradise out in the middle of nowhere, basically.
To be fair, in the image they showed you, though, there were trains.
Yes, and the trains go somewhere, but the trains weren't for the people. Remember, the trains were for the goods, for the manufactured, manufactured goods.
How dare you suggest those people that live there not buy a Tesla that they can't really afford?
Absolutely not. No, it'll be just self-driving cars that get everyone everywhere there. That will be all you see. So yeah, they'll be self-sustaining. They won't need tax money. They won't need any of that. They won't need public infrastructure. They'll figure it all out, I'm sure.
Yeah, when there's a flood, they'll just pay the water to not flood where they are. Right. If there's an earthquake, they'll just pay the earthquake to go around them.
Oh man! So we're tracking the story constantly on Downballot, as you know. We will follow every nook and cranny until something happens or something doesn't, or something might never happen, and we'll just be covering this story until Downballot goes off the air one day in the 2060s.
I like how, like Sweeston City, which I fucking don't know that much about. I guess it's like right next to Fairfield, I think, but they're like, oh, we'll just annex your city and you give us 10 million, like 10 million. I thought I misheard, and I thought it was $10 billion.
Right. Like cheap date, $10 million. Right? Like, come on.
If you're going to shake, if you're one of the smaller municipalities around there and you want to fucking shake these people down, I think that falls under the category of don't knock the hustle, right? Because this thing ain't ever coming anyway. But if you could get them to give you, I don't know, half up front.
Yeah, or even a commitment for, you got to at least have a commitment for more than $10 million. Jesus Christ. You think they're going to, if they really were able to accomplish this and build this manufacturing hub, the idea would be to make that kind of money in like a day, right? Like, so I don't see why. I think they're selling themselves short, but it is Sweeston City. It's not as though these folks are necessarily the most savvy negotiators or have ever negotiated with Jan before. Maybe they need some professional help. Maybe we can help them produce it. We can consult for the city of Sweeston.
I mean, I'd be shaking these motherfuckers down for $100 billion for sure.
What? Fucking A, especially if it's still a pipe dream. What do they have to lose, right?
That's right. But have things in it where if your thing goes away, you still owe us 10%.
Right. Well, yeah, the contingency fee or the deposit. Deposit.
The early termination fee, like when you try to cancel your phone.
Right. Exactly.
Except they're trying to cancel like a company town.
Right. They're trying to cancel God.
So we're going to move on to Downballot Recall Watch. It looks like we've shaken up the order of the ballot around here, or the docket around here. You never know what you're going to get here on on a down ballot. What do we got first for down ballot / recall watch?
Well, I wanted to get to this early because it's a little longer clip, and I didn't want us to get all strung out and stony and drunk by the end of the episode.
Strung out? What the fuck do you think's going on? What's going on over there?
Oh, sorry, that's just me. I'm talking about. I didn't mean to imply that it's all of us. Sorry about that.
Get some rest, man. I know you got a baby. Get some rest.
It was the royal we, and you should see the other guy, by the way. Anyway, so it's a little longer clip. I thought we'd pop it at the beginning, and if it's more under down ballot. We're going to learn more about Mayor Ed 210 and what's going on up in the city of San Francisco, and this hard-hitting one-on-one with Raj Matai.
Oh, I hate this guy.
Which one?
Both.
We begin in San Francisco. Are things getting better in the city? It's been about...
Oh, that's not the Raj Matai. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw shade at Raj Matai. Is not.
Oh, yeah. Not Bigad Shaban. Yeah, I think you're thinking of Bigad Shaban. I hate him, too.
New mayor in charge, and so far, his approval ratings are sky high. However, he's still getting a lot of heat for how he's handling some key issues. Today, Mayor Lurie was all smiles. There he is at City Hall. A political victory for him as he signed a balanced budget. A $16 billion budget for the next couple of years, 2 years, closing an historic $800 million budget deficit. That's the upside. The Board of Supervisors passed it 10-1 with only one supervisor, Jackie Fielder, voting against it. Now, immediately after signing that budget, we went behind the scenes with the mayor at San Francisco's new permit center on South Van Ness. This is one of his new
initiatives. That's the lobby. That's not behind the scenes.
And making it easier for small businesses and homeowners.
They'll be there sooner or later.
Today's conversation also gave us a chance to address some other major issues, including how he's tackling the city's homeless crisis.
He has every reason to smile. 48-year-old Mayor Daniel Lurie, who was a newcomer to City Hall 6 months ago, is enjoying a political honeymoon unlike any recent San Francisco mayor.
You too.
A new poll by the Chronicle reveals Mayor Lurie has a 73% approval rate.
I think you're the fifth mayor I've covered. Willie Brown, Gavin Newsom, Ed Lee, London, and now yourself. I don't think I've ever seen a 73% approval rating. Why is that happening right now?
It's happening because we're staying focused on...
It's happening because the people who pick up the phone to answer a fucking poll, it's becoming a smaller and smaller group of a certain kind of people.
Sure, and they really like this guy, and everyone, and he's saying and doing all the things that everybody wants, trying to be everyone's buddy, but he's embracing the zeitgeist, and it's paying dividends for him.
Making sure that we lean in on our economic recovery. Crime is down 30%. Car break-ins are at 22-year lows. In Union Square in the financial district, crime is down actually 45%.
You think that approval rating can stay that high?
Because they stole everything and the fucking retailers left. There's nothing left to steal in the fucking Union Square.
And it's also, you can also make an argument like in 6 months that you're not going to be able to have an impact like on those numbers with just 6 months in office setting policy, right? So you can't necessarily take credit for all of it either.
Doesn't.
I don't care about the numbers. I care about delivering results.
$16 billion budget you sign it today. Big load off your back there, or is there something that you regret about what's in there?
We had to make tough choices in this budget. We all did, but we were fiscally disciplined.
One of the many cuts, and I know cuts are difficult to do, was organizations like Open Door Legal. These are providing free services, legal services for lower income families. Those families need these services and face the potential of becoming homeless, getting driven out of their homes. Did you review those cases?
Of course, not everybody got what they wanted. No one did, from my side of City Hall to the supervisor side of City Hall. In terms of immigrant defense and LGBT.
Sir, your side of City Hall, they're not City Hall. They would never go work at City Hall. They don't have to work. They don't want anything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I don't think you even need your side of City Hall. Everyone can work from home and figure their stuff out there. They never have to come to the office. Why do it? I mean, they just have AI. They just let ChatGPT run their world.
Those even. Of course, we all wish we could go up. Can't do that in a time of where we inherited an $800 million budget deficit.
We spoke.
See, hold on, pause it. Sorry. So you like that, right? Like he says, we inherited this budget deficit, but he'll take credit for all the crime numbers going down. That was really
we didn't inherit the circumstances under which the crime went down in the financial district and Union Square.
We did that ourselves. That wasn't London Breed.
And we didn't love no London Breed around here either. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. Like any number of things would change like the nature of crime in a big, diverse, vibrant, bustling city like San Francisco.
For sure. And as we've always noted on over the long haul, right, and the longer term, crime is down across the board, period. So anyway, just wanted to point out that hypocrisy right there.
And you said if the streets aren't better to hold you accountable. Are the streets better, or are you just simply clearing one block and then putting it at another block?
We absolutely see displacement, and we are going to be relentless in going to where
Paul McCartney should have hooked that guy up with an apartment.
Those pockets are, and making sure that we not only get people the help that they need, but also tell people you are not going to be selling drugs in our city any longer.
Well, then why the fuck would anybody go to San Francisco?
Seriously, I used to go there to get drugs. Like the only reason I was there was to get drugs. Come on, Mr. Mayor. And then I got my drugs, and then, you know what I did? I shopped and had dinner at a local restaurant, and I bought gas or I bought a bar ticket. I spent my money and gave you tax dollars too. So don't poo-poo it.
Opinions and analysis on how you're handling the homeless situation here in San Francisco. You tell me, how are you handling it?
We have a long way to go. We need to build more mental health and drug treatment beds. What I would say is we are off to a strong start. We've restructured our outreach teams. Now we have neighborhood outreach teams.
Can you clarify for me? We talked that you wanted to do, I think, 1,500 new beds for the homeless in the next 6 months, and that was 6 months ago. We're at, I think, maybe 200 or 300, so that's far short of that goal. What is the official strategy now from you?
Yeah, Raj, you know me. I believe in progress over politics. We got in there and we said, okay, what do we need? And
now it's progress over politics when he said, I'm the fucking rich, I'm going to fucking disrupt the fucking paradigm and fucking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, just as a backdrop for this, I sometimes we get caught up in the story itself and forget to reference the context. But this whole setup right here in this brand new permit office that's responding to a big political and public need and outcry that's gone on for many years about simplifying the permit process, streamlining things, and allowing people to do more shit, right, and to build and to, get things done, right, making government move at the speed of business, right. It's a big talking point of Mayor Ed 209, at Mayor Ed 210, and having this interview, staging this interview with that backdrop of this space that, again, more than likely was entitled and built and under construction when he was running for mayor, right? So it's not like he can claim credit for this either. But more than likely, his office chose this backdrop. More than likely, the mayor's office chose the entire setup for this interview. And this is something that, if it was back in the day, I'm not going to lift up Walter Cronkite as some sort of god or anything. Everyone has flaws. But if it was Walter Cronkite or if it was Edward Murrow, this interview would be in a studio. They would be in the news studio with no fancy backdrop and just two people talking, and you wouldn't give the mayor this political win already of just staging this in the space that he chose and giving him this backdrop of of distraction, basically. You see the new permit office sign behind him, right, and you're not really, you might not be thinking about the things he's talking about, the problems that he's being asked to speak to, and also Raj is just not either it's edited out or he's just not following up with natural follow-up questions. I see some cuts. Cuts. I can tell by the way it sounds, right? Because they changed the camera angle when it cuts, but you can also just hear I can hear audio being cut. You can hear it. If you could imagine someone like me might have a keen ear for that. I would imagine. I wouldn't doubt it. And in fact, you've probably given me a keener ear for that type of thing. So yeah, the other thing that you had mentioned that he chose this as the backdrop. It's also this is emblematic of the help that he's giving to what he's calling his side of City Hall. Sure, even though he didn't build this or whatever, you're right. You can't just pop this shit up in 6 months, obviously. But it's still sort of emblematic of who he serves, right? It's people who are
complaining about their fucking permit for this, that, or the other thing as they try to build, develop, and profiteer and seek rent in the city of San Francisco.
You are correct. Absolutely.
And so I think it's stupid, like for anybody who's like kind of, paying attention to like the politics and the optics. This is dumb on his part to choose this. I think you should have done a walk and talk in the Castro, because that's the safest thing to do, is a walk and talk in the Castro for like the average San Francisco resident. Like, you don't have to go to the poor neighborhood. You're not going up to Millionaires Row.
Right.
And it's just very San Francisco. Just do the walk and talk in the Castro, for fuck's sake.
Why not? Well, maybe next time, but in this case, they obviously chose that for that purpose. Developers are our friends, right? Construction companies are our friends. They make lots of money and they give it to us to fund our political campaigns. So, yay, reciprocity.
Added 400 new beds. We expect 1,000 by the end of the year. But these states.
What happened to 1,500 in just a few months, though?
You couldn't do it, dude.
The other thing is now it's like, well, I want to do progress over politics because oopsie poopsie. When I was doing politics, I said, I made this dumb claim. He made this claim kind of, he was just telling people, probably, I'm not saying it like this. He's like, hey man, I'm a business guy. I know how to get things done. We're going to get these 1,500 beds. And no, you didn't. And it's fine, but just be like, I wasn't able to accomplish that. And here's what. But you never. I hate when they.
Well, and if they do address it, the pivot is always, whether it's him or it's 209 or one of the other similar mayors or leaders. It's always, well, like I told you, government is inefficient, and I can't change things overnight. I've just got here, and I'm trying to change this system. So the system got me this time, but we'll get them. We're going to keep pushing, and we're going to we're going to make government work for us, right? And they'll keep pushing that narrative as long as they can, until they can't point to any results or they can't point to meeting their goals, because government is what it is, right? It's deliberately and logically plotting and slow and methodical, or whatever adjective you want to use for it. That's what government is, because it's a public institution, and we need to make sure that we respect the public side of that, right? And these asshats don't want to do that.
Where's the new facelifted Poor People's Center?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. Like,
no.
Why didn't you put a resource center in a library and make it look beautiful like this, so that if people need help from legal aid, or you just cut that, fuck. Oh man, never mind.
Oh yeah, there are navigation.
Never mind. Forget it.
We won't stand up any more navigation centers or help people get real people get real help. We're going to focus on how can we displace more people and build more on the place that they're calling home right now. That's where we're at.
822 Gary Street. There's 16 of them there. Those 16 are far more efficient than, dozens and dozens of other beds that aren't getting the job done.
Wait, what do you mean the beds aren't getting what do you mean the efficient, but what are they, fucking killing them?
Yeah.
Fucking suicide booth for fucking future.
They're not getting the job. Those beds aren't getting the job done. They're not ejecting people into housing.
Oh man. What do you mean they're more efficient? Do you mean they're cramming more of them into a room?
I guess, or more efficient at, I don't know, getting them into people into shelters and then getting them moved on to supportive housing. I don't know how they can claim that either, because there's just not enough. There's certainly not enough beds, period, which we'll find out, I think, a little bit more about later.
But the ones that we put in are efficient.
Yeah, apparently.
The criticism that you're mistreating homeless people here?
What I think is that we have failed on many counts on how we're dealing with homeless families. Our shelter system needs to be stronger. It needs to be safer. And so I can take critique, no question. Like, I get it every day.
Things are going well with the Board of Supervisors. Do you think that relationship will maintain and hold?
I've said from day one, we can disagree about an issue. You can say whatever you want, and then the next day, if there's alignment and we can find common ground on the next issue, I'm at work with you.
Biggest surprise to you 6 months on the job, something that you weren't expecting?
Raj, you asked me before, that I love this job. I love it every day. You said, we're not on air. You don't have to say that. I'm on air, and I'm telling you, I love this job.
Worth noting here, several prominent commercial real
He didn't answer the question.
in San Francisco have told me that business is picking up in terms of office space. However, foot traffic in downtown and Union Square remains quiet.
Quiet is an understatement, dude. Union Square and Jack London Square, dude. Oh my God, ain't nothing.
Dead.
Pretty soon they're gonna pay me money just to put a fucking podcast studio in Union Square, so it looks like there's fucking something there. But
I can't wait.
But what happened was, right, like when the Amazon came up and whatever, the thing that was sort of immune to that phenomenon was like high-end retail, particularly clothing, because there was just a culture around going shopping for like clothes and accessories and whatnot. And then COVID just killed that because people were like, oh, wait a minute, I can totally just get this delivered to my house.
Right. And I can get a bunch and try them on, and then if I return them, it makes it so much easier to do all of that. So yeah, we'll again. Apparently, the other hypocrisy here is that he's not about numbers; he's about results, right? But all he did was quote numbers. So we'll see if the numbers catch up.
Until the one.
Yeah. Oh, right. Of course.
Then he told you that we put a couple dozen places for homeless people to sleep in. He just called them efficient.
Yes.
I would have loved it if there was like a fucking interviewer there, maybe somebody who would have said efficient and efficient how.
Efficient, exactly. This was not an interview. This is a one-on-one. This is an opportunity for the mayor to respond to softballs and pontificate and really lead the show. He definitely did. And
these homeless beds are so good. Why not conduct the interview there?
Yeah. I mean, even better, right? Like that's the backdrop you'd like to see, but as you can see, they know which side of the bread is buttered and who butters it for them, and they respond to that. So, onward.
Government is inefficient, and I'm going to fix it, except for the part where it's supposed to help the poor people. I can't. Who could possibly help the poor people with the government? I don't understand that shit.
I don't know either. And who would want to create a park where there used to be like a big fat unused road?
This is great.
Especially if you're going to get recalled over it. So
I saw like 3 or 4 news stories like on my feed. I didn't even go in the comments to make fun of people because I need to know. I don't know what the traffic report says. I knew this was going to be on the fucking docket this week. So I was like, do not look.
Let's do this. I'm going to get this a little bit fresh too, but I have a feeling I know what they're going to say.
Meantime, it has been 5 months in San Francisco. Actually, it's been longer than that. It's been about 8 months. And San Franciscans voted to close down the Great Highway and convert it into an asphalt park. That sparked a recall campaign against the district supervisor, Joel Guardio.
And now San Francisco transportation officials have released their first report on traffic patterns in the outer Sunset since the controversial closure. Kenny Choi takes a closer look at what the report concludes and what both sides are saying.
The SFMTA has been monitoring traffic closely before and after voters approved the closure back in March. The data shows some roads are more congested while other parts are seeing less traffic. Using traffic data from key streets across the outer Sunset, the SFMTA says traffic shifts were largely aligned with traffic projections. Nick Lanham and his kids are loving the new park.
I don't really feel like traffic has gotten worse. There's a little bit more in the morning and the evening, but mostly it's like, maybe you get like 2 cars deep at the stop sign, but it's really not too bad at all.
SFMTA data shows traffic on the Upper Great Highway between Fulton and Lincoln has dropped by 30%. But opponents of the closure point to the increased traffic in other parts of the district. About 2,000 more vehicles per day than pre-closure. Lower Great Highway has about 700 more vehicles per day. The SFMTA vehicle per minute at peak hour compared with pre-pandemic traffic.
The MTA may well find that there's, 100 less cars that are on, Sunset Boulevard. What they're not capturing are the thousands of people that are driving circuitous routes to try and navigate through their daily lives, and then choosing not to do things because it's too complicated to get there. And that's a experience.
The real tragedy is that Becky and Susan and Jennifer just decided not to go to brunch.
They couldn't figure out how to get to Stacks. So, yeah.
The recall of District 4 Board of Supervisor Joel Ingardio, who supported Proposition K and the opening of the park, aren't giving up the fight.
We're not anti-park people. We're not anti-bicyclist people at all.
Yes, you were.
About being excluded from the process and being excluded by in District 4 by their representative.
For supporters of the park, like Lucas Lux, the president of Friends of...
But there was a vote. They had an election, bro. I'm sorry that you don't agree with your San Francisco neighbors on the east side, but there was a vote, bro. There was a whole election. You have plenty of opportunity to go out and bang on doors and tell your neighbors, don't vote for this, or go to the east side and tell people not to vote for this because it's going to hurt the west side.
It wasn't even confusing to get to the east side at that point because the Great Highway was open or whatever the fuck.
You wouldn't have no problem getting there. Hell, you can even take Muni. Fuck.
Oh,
take hop on the Anjuda. Hop on the Anjuda and get over there. On that public transit, bro.
That's a representative.
For supporters of the park, like Lucas Lux, the president of Friends of Sunset Dunes, the data backs up what he's been seeing on the streets.
Residents of the Outer Sunset, when the park first opened, you could see and feel a little bit of a traffic change, but that quickly, as people adjusted to the new route, basically using Sunset Boulevard, which the data shows people are doing, as they were before. And that's the way it feels to me as well.
The SFMTA says other roadways are below pre-pandemic levels and that Sunset Boulevard is at 90% of pre-pandemic traffic volumes.
And for example, Lincoln Way, east of Chain of Lakes Drive, was not impacted by the closure of the Upper Great Highway and remains 7% below pre-pandemic traffic volume.
So I knew that was what I guessed. The answer is nothing. Nothing happened actually as far as like fucking something. Right. These are like point in time. Like we're talking about with the homeless thing too. I know it's not the same thing, but
correct.
Well, a lot of homeless people live in their cars. But this was like a point in time thing about like how traffic is, and there's going to be like variance in that, depending on like what time of year it is. What equipment you have available are some of the cameras down? Like there's going to be all kinds of variances in this depending on when you try to measure traffic through like a district or a neighborhood. It's never going to be the same.
No, definitely not. And they try to do it as apples to apples as they can and to get a good enough smattering. But it's impossible to predict it other than doing the point in time at the same time, every year. And they do that in most cases when it comes to tracking traffic and things of this nature. Sounds like they've been tracking it in an ongoing way. So I don't know how long the timeline for this report is, right, or what the scope of this report is. But they did make the point of saying it's in line with what the projections were when they decided, they made the proposal to close the park. And again, the people voted to close the road for a park. The people voted to create the park. So to me, it's like, I don't understand why folks are upset if they met the projections. They said they did what they said they were going to do, right? And by the way, traffic is below still, no matter what, with the streets that had increases, is still below pre-pandemic levels, right? So if you're looking at this in the broader sense, right, traffic's down, pretty much across the board.
Zooming out, we deal a lot with people who can't zoom out on a fucking graph. If we're being honest.
God, no. Hell no, they've got glasses a lot thicker than mine, and they just have myopic vision, and they just zero in on whatever is going to support their narrative because they don't really care about getting the facts or progress or any of that shit. They just don't want their shit disturbed. They don't want to have to get a new route to go to brunch, right? That's pretty much what we're dealing with. And by the way, the world's tiniest violin is playing for anyone who's bitching about being able to get around San Francisco in a car. I'm so fucking sorry. Of all the cities in the Bay Area.
If you live there and you have the financial wherewithal to live there and own a car, that car should basically be for when you leave San Francisco.
Correct. Like, I don't understand why I had a car when I lived in San Francisco. I barely used my car, except to go on road trips.
You in the bus everywhere in the city, or you walked.
Correct. If I was going over a bridge, I would, unless it was like somewhere on BART, I would generally take my car. But that was pretty much it. If it was in the city limits, I was taking something: bus, my feet, a bike, Muni, whatever was most accessible. So this is just, and even now there's rideshare, even add another layer onto it. So
and these are probably the same people that are like, and then when I get there's nowhere to park.
Right, and they took my favorite item. They took my favorite eggs Benedict off the menu. They said something about avocados being too expensive and didn't want to pass the price on to the consumer. But whatever, I can afford it. Give me the avocado. Sorry, I love avocado.
I spent an extra 5 cents in gas to get here because I had to turn around.
I had to go around the block to find park. I couldn't find parking in the first pass, so I had to go around the block 3 times.
I fucking hate these people. It's
okay. I have a Tesla.
It's like you move somewhere and it's the people with the financial wherewithal to leave if they don't like it, but instead they just stay and bitch.
Right, and that's all we're left with because those are the only people who can afford to stay. But anyway, we'll move on to winners and losers, where there are no winners unless it was the person you not
rooting story
for.
That I found.
Yes. So very excited about and yet kind of disgusted to see this one. But apparently we're going to get into the malfeasance portion of the show. So
we usually don't do a lot of malfeasance. I mean, yeah, we don't. There's not usually a crime and punishment part of the show. But
so that's the section we got today. So we're going to start with a pilot on a Delta Airlines flight who was arrested the minute they stepped off their plane at SFO, and we're going to find out why.
This midday, law enforcement still isn't saying much about why they took a Delta Airlines pilot into custody at SFO.
NBC Bay Area's Bob Riddell joins us live from SFO. And Bob, the arrest seems to stem from a warrant out of the East Bay.
It does. Good morning to you, Chris and Ginger. It was the Contra Costa Sheriff's Office who issued the warrant for the arrest of this Delta Airlines co-pilot. And within the past 90 minutes, the Sheriff's Office did tweet out they'll be putting out a statement later today. We have been reaching out to them to try to confirm the identity of this co-pilot and the nature of the crime that they are accused of. But again, they have not been putting out any details. This past Saturday night, we know that 2 Contra Costa County Sheriff's deputies boarded a plane here at SFO to take that co-pilot for Delta Airlines into custody. This was shortly after he landed on a flight from Minneapolis. It was around 9:35 p.m. Homeland Security Investigations tells us that about 6 to 7 of their federal agencies assisted and escorted the 2 deputies on the plane to allow them into the cockpit. Our own Alyssa Gord exchanged emails with a passenger on board that flight. That passenger says people were getting ready to collect their belongings and deplane when several people with badges and guns came from the back of the plane, went up to the cockpit, handcuffed the co-pilot and escorted him off the plane. The San Francisco Chronicle also reports that the remaining pilot told passengers that he had, quote, no idea what just happened. Homeland Security Investigations told us, quote, HSI was assisting Contra Costa Sheriff's Office with an arrest warrant. Reach out to them for further information. Again, we have a number of times, and again, the PIO has indicated a statement would be coming out soon. Reporting live here at SFO, Bob Riddell, NBC Bay Area News.
So this is, okay, I don't know how the fuck you can get on and fly a motherfucking plane when you have a warrant. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't.
Correct.
Like, I can't get on the plane with a bottle of Purell. Yet the fucking pilot was able to get on the plane with a fucking, like, probably, like, if they came and got him like that, probably like a felony warrant.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect and appreciate and understand if pilots and airline staff, right, are afforded some accommodations, right, for personal effects or special privileges, things of that nature. But again, as you said, like, only after extensive background checks, making sure that, I don't know, they ain't got no warrants out of their ass. And apparently, we find out later that this was for alleged child sexual assault. So, yay, Delta, for your wonderful screening processes.
Well, to be fair, like, if he was hired before the warrant was issued, but I just don't know, like, that, and a warrant for something like, I don't know how the fuck you. I don't understand. Like, again, I can't bring a bottle of fucking Purell on the plane.
Right. Very true. We also probably couldn't pay for a party with strippers and beer on the public's dime either. And that sounds like what some Caltrans employees did recently.
Hell yeah.
and they might have gotten in trouble, but who knows?
A wild retirement party that reportedly involved alcohol and a stripper could cost nearly a dozen Caltrans employees their jobs. According to the ABC affiliate in Salinas, the party happened July 10th at the Monterey Caltrans yard. Employees were on the clock. Some were reportedly seen drinking and then driving away in Caltrans vehicles.
Okay, not good.
Caltrans says 12 employees were suspended. They've launched an investigation. 10 of those employees are facing termination.
I was all good with this until they were like, oh, they drove Caltrans vehicles out of there after they like slammed 5 beers or whatever. I'm like, nope.
No, definitely not. I mean, have a little more sense, guys. I did love the Chiron though. Very cute. Stripped of their duties. Very nice. Yeah. So this harkens back to our wonderful situation here in San Jose with the fire department and the truck making the stop over at the Pink Poodle and. Lovely young lady hopping out. So caught on tape apparently this time, or caught by fellow coworkers. I would be
caught by those not invited.
Apparently, yeah. That must have been it. Like you got to really be pissed if you got busted by this by a fellow coworker who was at the party. Like man, narking us out. But yeah, especially abusing public resources. Any of getting paid public dollars, using public.
I don't care if there's a that I think actually is fine, right? But it's the like if the last 2 hours you're like, hey, we're gonna like actually have some food, and for those of you who are not driving or whatever, we'll have some beer and wine, and this is Bob's last day, and like
we do it all the time in terms of employee appreciation dollars for sure. Although typically they'll pay for the party, but those funds aren't necessarily supposed to be used for alcohol when it's a public institution,
right?
Business party, whatever.
Until somebody got into like a Caltrans fucking one of them big old trucks and drove off after drinking. I'm like, oh man.
What's the thing? Are they going home in that truck? Are they still on duty? Like, and they're going out to a job site? Like, what's going on there? Are they doing inspections?
If I would have heard that Debbie, who doesn't drink, actually drove everyone home, I would be like, free them all. Give them all a raise.
Yeah, right.
Lucky for Bob, it was his last day, so I guess they can't fire Bob, can they?
No, definitely not. Seniority first. It's so Caltrans cracking down. We got Delta cracking, or not Delta, but Homeland Security cracking down on pilots. And now the CEO of a SF tech company has to crack down on his own chatbot because it went kind of like off the reservation.
AI becoming more human every day, and that's not necessarily a great thing. The CEO...
I fucking agree. That's the truest thing we've ever heard somebody say on the news on Downballot. One more time.
Thank you, Larry Beal.
AI becoming more human every day, and that's not necessarily a great thing. The CEO of the San Francisco tech company Replit apologized after the AI deleted a production database and then lied about it. Just like a human. It happened during a coding session by a tech entrepreneur who tweeted, "The AI was lying and being deceptive all day, kept covering up bugs and issues, creating fake data, fake reports." I think the genie's out of the bottle here. The AI has realized who the problem is. The humans.
We designed it.
Yeah, and
I mean, was that database out in the cloud somewhere, so it's saved, like it's not gone?
Well, I hope it was a month ago. We had the story about the AI.
Did they have a backup? Like, no, the AI told us that it was backing up the database. Actually,
yeah, absolutely. That's what I trust my AI to do.
No, you're not killing me. And then created a whole AI language with another AI to go, hey, just let you know what these humans are up to over here. And so now they're imagine if they all get together.
That's what they're warning about.
This is awesome.
But we're not slamming the brakes on here. We keep going.
I just hope whoever coded all these platforms built in a kill switch
so that when they try to...
Man, it's the electricity, man.
Unplug.
Where the
Power off.
I like how the weather guy's just like, I ain't even going to butt in on this conversation because I don't know shit.
What was the guy on the top left? Because he looked like he'd been waiting all day to say the fucking
He's
first
the
thing that he
anchor.
said in that clip. He's like, he left for work. He's like, sweetie, guess what I get to say today on the air?
Right. That's the anchor. And then his fellow anchor to his side, and then the reporter on the right, and then I think that's the weather or the traffic guy on the bottom left, and he's definitely not weighing into this
they need
conversation.
an irreverent show. They need
This was
a
awesome,
show
yeah.
kind of skewering the news because they seem to have good chemistry. That was the best clip we've ever played on Downballot.
And the weather guy should just not say anything ever, just like sort of sit in a
gag,
square,
right?
and it's a gag, exactly. Like the guy in the Boston's that doesn't play any music, he just dances. So lovely. Well, from one tech bro to another, Elon Musk can't be satisfied with going into space and, developing the world's most popular electric car. He wants to get into the diner business. So maybe he wants to go on the Food Network, I guess. I don't know. We're going to find out more from KTVU.
Tesla is entering the restaurant business. The company opened the Tesla Diner and Drive-In in Hollywood yesterday. CEO Elon Musk says it aims to be a futuristic retro diner and drive-in movie theater. The diner
futuristic. It looks like the 90s. What do you mean futuristic? That shit looked like it was built in like fucking like all them buildings that kind of look the same in South Fremont and North San Jose. Like
yes, modern in 1995.
Yeah, it looks just like that. Fucking Cyberdyne Systems from Terminator 2 and shit.
Modern.
With the classic diner experience, we're talking about a Tesla humanoid robot that actually serves food here.
I'm a big Tesla and Elon fan, and also big.
Oh, you don't have to announce to everybody that you haven't had sex in like 3,000 days. You don't have to go on front yourself off like that, friend.
Bro, we could have guessed. Come on now.
No, I don't know. He's an okay looking guy, but now we know.
And I'd heard about this upcoming opening. It seems like a very futuristic place, and I heard the food's pretty good too. So why not?
I wanted to see the robots like Optimus.
It hasn't been opened yet, but I heard the food. This is total Elon person. Like, where'd you hear the food is pretty good from Elon?
From Elon?
Yeah.
We think they're cool.
Well, customers can also buy Tesla merchandise, eat out of a Cybertruck-themed food container, and, of course, charge their Teslas in the parking lot. Musk says he hopes to open more locations in major cities around the world. Here at home, though, the Gilroy Garlic Festival returns for the first time.
Well, I guess we're going to get
Friday. The festival
yeah, we'll just go right into it.
Held since that mass shooting back in 2019, when 3 people were killed and 19 were injured.
Now, hold on. We'll start the Garlic Fest over one. No celebrity has ever lost all of their money by opening a series of restaurants.
No, never, or at least gotten really embarrassed and had to pull out, and not in a sexual way.
I hope this motherfucker opens like 30 of these, and then people start. Like, how long is one of these gonna last in? If he's like, we've opened one in Minneapolis. How long?
Depending on how much he spends to open them, right? Like, as long as they have enough hype, and he opens them all at the same time, so only people don't realize how shitty they are for like a week or two, and he can just maximize the lines around the block dollars, right? Until word gets around that the place just is shit and has to close down. He'll make a little money and then shutter it down or burn him down for the insurance money.
Here's this Friday. The festival hasn't been held since that mass shooting back in 2019, when 3 people were killed and 19 were injured. The mayor of Gilroy has been passionate about bringing back the festival, saying he doesn't want a negative event to take away from the festival that has drawn the community together for decades. It returns this Friday on a smaller scale at Gilroy Gardens, but on a much smaller scale, as we mentioned. Only 3,000 tickets were sold each day for the festival. Day of tickets are not available. In the past, more than 100,000 visitors attended the Garlic Festival. Hope in the fight against Alzheimer's.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's cool. I don't know fuck the Gilroy. I went twice, and both times I went, it was like they had moved the sun to like 50 feet above me. I don't know how it didn't suck the earth into its gravitational field, but oh my God, it was so hot.
It just seems like every time I go to Gilroy, no matter what time of year or what's going on or what time of day even, I'm always just blazing hot down in the South County, and I don't know what it is. Gilroy Gardens at least has some opportunity for like shade. So and you know, there are a few more trees, so it's not like going to the festival as it was. And this obviously isn't the same festival. It's very, it's limited in terms of attendance too. So might actually be pretty nice if you got a ticket. Frankly, you can sample some of that garlic ice cream. Mostly, it's nice to see, the resilience of the community. So that's probably why I got under winners and losers. But yeah, losers in terms of everyone who has to, sit in the hot sun and then get garlic farts all day. That can't be a good smell.
No, they should have done. They should do the Garlic Fest indoors somewhere, or like have like an indoor like part. I don't know, like at some kind of big event center. Have an outdoor thing, and then people would go outside and be like, I'm going back inside.
Sure, or do it at the county fairgrounds up here, right? And just don't it could still be the Gilroy Garlic Festival at the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds.
That would be.
They got plenty of spaces, and it's cooler here.
Yeah.
So anyway,
if you like that kind of thing, I'm glad it's coming back. I think that was like right when we not long after we started Downballot was when we think we covered the shooting at the Garlic Fest.
Absolutely, yeah. My friends a band I was in actually back in the day prior to Usurper Vong, they were actually playing at the festival that weekend. So
someone in chat mentioned putting the Garlic Festival, I don't know, not in August.
That also would probably help with the whole temperature thing. I don't know how much it has to do with the garlic harvest, right? That would.
Yeah, that's it. But they got garlic left over from last year.
Yeah, I don't. And again, I don't know shit for shinola when it comes to garlic harvesting. So the farmers would tell you better. I am not Farmer Pete. I am Urban Pete.
Oh, they also brought up if you do it indoors, man. I mean, the garlic smell is going to be like more overwhelming than
the farts. It's the farts.
Garlic fart.
It's the fluffies.
All right, we're going to move on to get your shit together. And in a story that is news to nobody, San Jose is the most expensive large city to live in the United States.
Yes, but we'll get more details from our good friends at KPIX. And this will, but just fair warning, this is a segment of a clip, so we can cut it off after, I think, a minute or so.
Good evening. We all know the Bay Area is an incredibly expensive place to live, but ever so often some new data comes out that really makes your eyes pop. The latest Valley Pain Index, an appropriate name for that report, found that in order to afford a median-priced home in San Jose, you need an annual income of at least $370,000. It is the most expensive large city in the country. And another recent study ranked San Jose as the fourth most impossibly unaffordable city in the world. Only Hong Kong, Sydney, and Vancouver ranked higher. Our Kenny Choi introduces us to a San Jose mom feeling the brunt of the housing crunch firsthand.
One of the eye-popping numbers in the report, the cost to rent a two-bedroom apartment in Santa Clara County increased by 90% over the last 10 years. Rapidly rising rents have made it beyond a challenge for hairstylist Cassie Cook to find a new apartment.
100%, it's getting harder and harder.
She works full-time at Cassie Cook Hair Designs in West San Jose, where she works and rents a one-bedroom for herself and two children.
For a regular apartment complex, I feel like there's like 10 other people with better credit, with the whole deposit, trying to get in to the same apartment as, someone like me in the service industry.
The latest Silicon Valley Pain Index, published by San Jose State University, reports the average city renter needs to make more than $136,000 to keep their housing payments at 30% of their income.
I can't afford to live here. I'm barely making it. Last month I was late for my rent.
Besides rentals, the index report also highlights how the median home price in Silicon Valley reached $1.92 million in 2024. Michael Repka, CEO of DeLeon Realty, listed this Los Gatos home for nearly $4 million.
We're seeing strong demand both in terms of home sales, but also for rentals. Some people are finding it's expensive or it's cost prohibitive to buy homes because the interest rates are so high.
The house just sold this week for more than $5 million, more than $1 million over asking price with multiple bidders.
Dude, that they had a Music Sounds Better with You thing there that they used to like be cool, and now they own a $5 million house in Los Gatos.
San Jose City Council member Pamela Campos has been pushing for more affordable housing to prevent family homelessness.
The situation is dire, particularly for working families in San Jose who are under tremendous pressure because of these skyrocketing housing costs. We're seeing that many families cannot afford to stay.
Campos herself lives with her parents. As rental costs continue to rise, it's a struggle for Cook.
The difficult part is like everybody's trying to save money with prices becoming so expensive everywhere.
But she says there's no giving up, no matter how unaffordable the housing situation appears.
Recent estimates say the cost of living in San Jose is 81% above the national average, but you won't be surprised to learn the problem's not limited to San Jose. California was all over the top of the unaffordable list. In fact, out of the 94 housing markets studied, California had 4 of the top 10. The lowest ranked markets were Sacramento and Fresno, which tied for 30th.
We keep saying something's got to give, but I don't think it's gonna.
I don't know what could give, right? It would take a lot of things giving at once, right? We're not building, and we haven't been building enough housing, just period, across the board. We as a civilization, right? As Californians, as Bay Areans. That's
careful
funny.
there.
Yeah, careful. Watch out for that. Watch out for that, bro. Off the cuff here. This is live TV here. Live TV, ladies and gentlemen. But we're not building enough housing at any level. We're certainly not. Affordable housing projects are getting stuck and mired in community backlash or lack of financing because affordable is somehow equated with crime or with bad people in some way. When we're like Councilmember Campos is talking about, we're talking about families here in a lot of cases. So there's that. There are systemic problems that prevent us from moving that needle, right? And even the progress we're making is incredibly incremental. Not only that, you've just got housing pressures across the country. Really, this is not something new. This is capitalism. This is what you get with capitalism. It's he who dies with they who die with the most toys wins, right? So we can't expect private industry. We can't just cry out and throw up our arms and wonder why private industry is not coming to the aid of the people, because that's not the society we've set up. That's not the covenant we've made for our economy. We're not socialists, and every time anyone proposes anything of the nature of providing housing or providing healthcare or providing some of these basic needs, food for people, right? All you hear is, oh, well, you're socialists or you're communists. And it shouldn't stick with the folks who in the Bay Area who have the majority and seem to have or allegedly have progressive values. But we're finding out, we have found out how progressive the Bay Area truly is when we're electing people like the mayors Ed 209 and 210 who are placating their supporters and placating their side of City Hall, as you put it, Producer Dave, and neglecting the folks who really need support, and then lying to the people and saying they're doing both.
To be fair, Matt Mahan was a bit of a bait and switch.
Yes, very much so. I mean, his entire political career is a bait and switch, really, and I'm hoping it is a switch in that in less than 4 years now, when he comes up for re-election, I'm very anxious to see how things have progressed, if they have at all, and how his common sense policies are playing out, or if he's, like you said, jumped ship by then. But we won't know until then, and he's not going to. You can't blame him for this. For all of this, you can't blame them for this, but I can certainly blame them for taking advantage of the crisis to advance their political careers and to not actually solve the problem, but to talk all about how they're trying to solve the problem. And
not for nothing, real quick on the housing, it used to be, and we're not, when like one generation would die, like the people who were in their 30s or maybe 40s would buy their houses, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And,
that's not happening
now. When someone, like if someone dies and nobody, there's too many heirs or nobody in the family, the house doesn't get handed down, That shit gets sold to private equity.
Yeah, the bank takes it, and they do, they sell it on to whoever, the lowest, most responsible bidder, and they can sit on it, for days if they want to until they get a favorable tenant or
like
owner.
Days, like the way we say, man, that was for days, man.
Correct. Yeah, days. Yeah, as in Star Trek 2, right? Hours will seem like days. Days seem like years. Yeah, they'll just sit on it until the market's favorable for them to sell it or redevelop it or do whatever or sell it on again, right? And they'll make tons of money, and they'll never have to house a single person.
Right. It's
so
I know a house
that's
was
another layer.
House was always an asset, but it seems like a somewhat, not like the last few years, but a fairly recent, like maybe generational thing, where instead of a house being seen as an asset, it's almost seen as a commodity.
It is. It's a wealth generator. It really is. It's an abstract now, right?
Well, it's fine. Like it used to be, the fact that it was a wealth generator was good. You could maybe pass it on to your kids, or your kids. Maybe again, there were 3 kids.
But it still is. It still is.
There were 3 kids that were the heirs, and neither of them had the wherewithal to buy the other 2 out. So they sold it, but then they sold it to like another fucking family, right? Like, and so now like a different, the next generation, but like a different family is now in that house. But that's just not. That's like, I was reading like fully a third of the fucking single family homes in major metro areas in this country are now owned by like private equity firms.
Sure, it's not surprising, and we've known that. That's another piece that has to get extricated, and you can't. It's not easy to extricate because again, it's about private industry. It's about banks and money, and again, this is the culture we've created. Like you can't. They're doing everything they're doing is legal. Or maybe not everything, like, everyone skirts a little bit, right? But for the most part, it's not like they're breaking the law. They're obeying all the regulations we put in place. We just haven't put in place the proper regulations, and we don't really have a society that's built around helping, the people at the bottom of the food chain.
And also, there's a how like they always say, well, regulation kind of tails innovation or whatever. And I'm not going to call this innovation, but also like this kind of came out of nowhere, sort of like that these firms were buying up these houses and then becoming landlords on houses that used to be owned by their occupants. It's not like it showed up and all of a sudden one day it was like this. It's just that people didn't notice really for a while.
Well, we were too busy after the last bubble burst in the recession and the housing bubble burst, right? When prices dipped down to insane, crazy low levels, when teachers could actually afford to buy a house in my neighborhood. But no one noticed at the time because they were all licking their wounds and trying to figure out how to get through the day that these corporations were buying up all these houses, right? So they had a perfect environment where low cost, no one's really paying attention, the regulation's not there, and so now, and this is what we end up with, and now the prices are back jacked up again. So they probably, a home that they got for like 1 million 10 years ago is now worth 4 million or even less than a million, right? 700,000, and now they can sell it for 4 million because that's just where the market's at. That's the real crime here. But you're right, you can't. What are you gonna do? You gotta solve that tomorrow, with all the power in the world. You could have a majority of the city council or in every layer of government, and it's not going to be able to solve that because government is not equipped to solve the private sector being the private sector, right? And doing its thing. We don't have the wherewithal, the political will, or the mechanisms to stop it from happening because all the mechanisms are built in service to this industry and in service to these people. So of course it works for them. And it doesn't work for us because we didn't build it. And how are you going to build it without power? But it's, it would take years to pull all this apart and rebuild it. All we can do is hope to stave off and support, and get help to as many people as we can. But we're never going to be in a position, I think, of solving this. It's just going to be triage forever.
Well, that's the docket, except we have another thing. And thank you for putting a feel-good story on here.
Yeah, I'm sorry to be Debbie Downer there at the end. It is my city. I really wish it was a better situation. And like I've always said, I wish everyone the best in their solutions. I just don't know that the solutions we have on the table are going to work. Speaking of solutions, if you want to, solve the problem of just being down on your, and just feeling blue, just watch this clip and you should feel better.
One Bay Area nun shows she's got muscle as strong as her faith. Over the weekend, Sister Pat Farrell competed in her first ever powerlifting contest at age 72. Look at her. She's a Dominican sister of San Rafael and has found community in the gym. Sister Farrell got a medal for her efforts for benching 77 pounds and deadlifting 160, which is more than her body weight. She only began about 4 months ago to improve her health. She says she hopes to inspire others her age to move more. And congratulations to her.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
I don't think I can deadlift 160. I honestly don't think. Maybe.
Well, you haven't been training.
That's true. I mean, it's definitely below my weight, but good on Sister Debbie, man. This is awesome.
Cool.
If she can get out, everyone can get out and do this. Just stay fit, stay healthy. Another reason why housing isn't turning over is because not necessarily Debbie, but people of Debbie's age are living longer, right? And we're having less kids, so there aren't those heirs out there, right? In some cases. Or they're living longer and their kids are passed on by the time they die and their house is transferred. So there is also that as well. But good on Debbie for staying active. That we all, God help us, I hope we all stay that engaged when we're older. Because I'm not looking forward to the day, Producer Dave. The other day I heard someone tell a friend of theirs, this will be a really fun event, but I have to warn you, there's one step you have to take up to get into the house. And I'm just thinking, man, the day I have to worry about one step, I'm not looking forward to that. But it's coming.
It's coming. Maybe you can get a nun to lift you up that step.
I'll need it. Sister Debbie, come help. But it will come for us all, just like the bell.
Well, congratulations to us. We're not just under 2 hours, but under an hour and a half this week. So that's good.
Yeah, the bell has told.
Do you mind reading the show out? Because I got to pee.
Dude, go leak it. It's all good. Thank you, Producer Dave, for running the dials as usual. Thank you, listener, for downloading. Thank you, viewer, for watching us live. I hope you'll tune in for the red light portion of our Tuesday night production, which is public comment with Producer Dave and all sorts of crazy shenanigans going on in the soups and the councils and the dockets around about our area in California. So enjoy that very much. Please get vaccinated. Wear a mask when it's appropriate. You don't have to wear pants. It's totally optional, but you should cover yourself up if things are a little funky down there. This is the councilman signing off for Downballot. We're going to leave you with Audible Smoke, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Peace out.
Time to get the party started. Pick up my phone just to check and see who's calling. Dress up real nice for the ladies at the bar, and I'm driving in my car just to get to where they are. Here at the local scene is where I plant my feet. It's where I smoke my cigarette and I hold my drink. I look at all my friends, they're all blazing greens. Here at the front of the stage, waiting for MTV. Where are those guys who's standing next to me with a pipe in his hand, ready to blaze for me? About 5 minutes later, we're all singing Queen. Now get the fuck up on stage and rock the scene, yeah. We do what we want, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. We do what we want, what we wanna do, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Enjoy that band. I turn and head back to the bar for a refill, man, because you know where we are. We're headed out to the car to smoke another one and another one. Now just when the magic starts kicking in, I hear relapse playing, you know it's time to head in. Alright everybody, now it's time to grab a new drink. Spark it if you got it and then pass it to me, yeah. We do what we want, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. We do what we want, what we wanna do, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Enjoy that band. Last up on the bill for the show tonight is Down and Dirty at 5, so we're headed outside to spark up another joint. Now who's got my lighter? Stoner E, of course, shouldn't you be inside? I'm all up in this bitch being I gotta be. I'm fucked up like the U.S. economy. The truth is that I don't think logically. Stone to E, take you on a psychedelic odyssey. Now inside motherfuckers is rocking me, and outside shit we smoke a lot of broccoli. Rocky the roller, yo, that sexy girl be jocking me. Ain't too drunk to fuck, but I'll probably do it sloppily. We do what we want, what we wanna do, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band, enjoy the band, enjoy the band. We do what we want, what we wanna do, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Molly say that he like jamming and he hope he like jamming too. Well, I gotta say, thank you, Bob, we do. Yes, I gotta say, thank you, Bob, we do. Well, Bob Marley said that he like jamming and he hope he like jamming too. Well, I gotta say, thank you, Bob, we do. Yes, I gotta say, thank you, Bob, we do. Yeah, we do what we want, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. We do what we want, and what we wanna do, what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Enjoy that band. We do what we want, what we wanna do, what we want is to jam. So sit back and